For the past 80 years, Superman has been a mainstay in the world of comic books, superheroes, and pop culture. The classic red S insignia splashed across his big blue chest, with a matching pair of red boots and a big red cape to go with it. This spit-curled, square-jawed icon of comic book culture has become instantly recognizable all around the world as a symbol of hope, truth, and justice. Along with Superman's cape, boots, and S, there's been another piece of his iconic uniform which has ever been part of the Man of Steel's overall look, but as of late has been absent. After 73 years, the New 52 reboot, 2011's follow-up to the groundbreaking Flashpoint storyline, ushered in a Superman who would lose his iconic trunks and instead be redesigned by legendary comic book artist Jim Lee to have a more modern uniform in keeping with the times. Superman's briefs, or trunks, depending on who's drawing him, were seen as outdated because they were based upon a piece of clothing once worn by circus strongmen and had no place in modern superhero mythology. The general idea was that it just didn't make sense anymore for the Man of Steel to be wearing the attire of a 1930s circus performer. As far as DC was concerned, Superman needed a visual update. The cape, which was draped across Superman's back, could easily be explained away as Kryptonian garb, and the big red S emblazoned upon his chest as a family crest for Krypton's House of El, and also the Kryptonian glyph to symbolize hope. The boots and blue outfit? Well, they needed no real explanation, which left the trunks. Even though many Superman fans were perfectly fine with the briefs, it seemed as though they would ever be the butt end of an endless string of jokes and underwear-themed humor. DC wanted the world to take Superman seriously, and for that, they felt the briefs just had to go. Now the problem that DC was left with was one of color flow. Superman's red briefs and accompanying yellow belt had always been a perfectly placed splash of red and yellow that broke up the blue. Along with Superman's red boots, S, and cape, they had served as a balancing point for Superman's color palette. The New 52 tried to address the red in the mid-area situation by giving him a red belt around his waist, but now there was a noticeable lack of yellow in the mid-area. Also, the belt served no real practical purpose as it wasn't really being used to hold up Superman's pants, nor was it actually a utility belt with any gadgets tucked away inside to speak of. Its design and existence was simply just a part of the overall look of Superman's new uniform, which was actually Kryptonian battle armor he'd retrieved from Brainiac's ship during their first confrontation while he was still shirt and pants soups. After the events of Convergence, and then the, quote, death of New 52 Superman due to irreversible kryptonite poisoning, the DCU underwent another soft reboot in the form of a relaunch called Rebirth. With Rebirth, the character of Superman saw another outfit change. This one opted not only to add cuffs to the wrists of this uniform, but also drop the collared look with the big red boots as well. The waist area also saw an updated belt design, but still no yellow and still no briefs. This new look failed to satisfy many fans of Big Blue, and it was quickly dubbed as Onesie Superman. Then again, there was a uniform update when the New 52 Superman and the retconned pre-Flashpoint Rebirth Superman merged together during a confrontation with Mr. Mxyzptlk and became one unified Superman. As a side note, this was a clever way to bring together the continuity elements of what worked with the New 52 Superman and also what was loved about the classic post-Crisis on Infinite Earth Superman. With this, we saw Superman and Wonder Woman's romantic relationship retconned out of existence, while Lois and Clark's in-continuity marriage was restored, along with many other classic events from past continuity. And yes, one other thing that we saw change was Superman's uniform yet again. This time, it was a brighter blue again, with red boots and no collar, and a yellow-red belt around his waist. As far as trying to score a balanced, no-briefs approach to Superman's appearance, it did a pretty good job. Not everyone liked Superman's new look, but overall, if the briefs weren't ever coming back, this new, more balanced look was pretty widely accepted by Superman fans as a big improvement over the last two briefless uniforms. But very soon, there would be yet another big costume change coming down the pipes for us Superman fans to either love or hate, because in March, Action Comics will be reaching its 1000th issue, a feat as of yet unattained by any other comic book publication in the entire history of comic books. To mark this historic landmark of comic book publication, and in celebration of Superman's massive and enduring legacy, the publishers at DC have decided to bring back Superman's iconic trunks. Many DC fans are excited about this return to a more classically recognizable image of the last son of Krypton, while others no doubt will think it's a step backwards to a more archaic and outdated Man of Steel. It just goes to show sometimes that the more things change, the more they stay the same. with all that said and done and the clowning around out of the way, I figured at this point it might be good for me to just give my opinion, where I stand, how I feel about Superman's iconic red trunks making a comeback to the current DC Universe continuity. So how do I feel about it? Well, I wish I could say that it was black or white for me, because a lot of people are like, Trunks, yay! And other people are like, Trunks, nah. I'm kind of like, I'm cool with it, I'm good with it. I don't think it's necessary, but I'm happy they're coming back. Now I should probably explain that, shouldn't I? Yes, I should. Here's what I mean. People that love Superman and he's their absolute favorite superhero of all time, he's going to be their favorite regardless of Trunks or not. And honestly, I think that most people that are giant, diehard Superman fans have loved Superman. They've been giant Superman fans since before the Trunks were removed at the New 52. That's not to say that the Big Blue hasn't made new fans since the New 52. I know that that was a massive event, but I really feel like people that get the character of Superman, that love Superman, they're gonna love Superman, Trunks or nah. Now online there has been a ton of buzz about the Trunks coming back in Action Comics 1000. There are people who are upset, legitimately upset. They're like, why are they bringing those back? It's so stupid. It doesn't make any sense. And I can definitely see their point, because it really doesn't make any rational sense that a modern day superhero who has had his entire origin tuned to make him more palatable and okay for a modern kind of generation would have trunks on the outside of his pants designed to keep the private areas modest of old school acrobats, wrestlers, and strongmen. That doesn't mean that you can't find a way to make them work and make them look more modern, but they are a remnant of something that existed in the past that we don't do anymore. Now to me, I don't really think it's a big deal that his trunks are back, because Superman is the S, the cape, the boots, the trunks. To me, that is the iconic look of Superman. And because he is so iconic, because Superman is Superman, I think that he transcends the need to have him modernized. Now with the New 52, DC knew they had a problem because they were removing something that was central to Superman's overall look. In the mid area, having that red and that yellow broke it up, and they really did run into problems just by having that red belt with no yellow, and it wasn't enough red. It didn't break the suit up enough. And you can really see that they struggled with that. They struggled with it so much that they redesigned his costume 2 more times before Action Comics 1000, going back to a more classic look. Overall, I do think that Superman does look better with the trunks on the outside. Does he look a little bit ridiculous? Sure, but we're dealing with someone who shoots fire beams. He has heat vision out of his eyes. The guy can see through everything except for lead. He can see things on other planets. He can hear every heartbeat at once. He can fly faster than light. The guy is super strong. In the New 52, he bench pressed the weight of the Earth for like a week, the equivalent of a week. This is Superman here. Everything about Superman is completely ridiculous. But it's not about him being plausible or not that makes us love him. Heck, with Christopher Reeve, we all believed a man could fly. Because we want to believe a man can fly. So trunks or nah, I think for most of us, I don't really feel like it's that huge of a deal. And there's been a resounding, yes, the trunks are making a comeback online, because a lot of Superman fans never saw a need for them to be removed in the first place. Let's face it, for the most part, in a world of anti-heroes and dark heroes and badass heroes, you're not gonna make Superman cool. Superman's light, and light just is not cool anymore these days. People like dark, people like gritty. So let Superman fans have their bright, hopeful, good Superman, and let him be in contrast to all of the other darker characters in the DC universe and in superhero culture as well. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, the trunks are coming back. Am I happy about it? Absolutely. I'm happy the trunks are making a comeback. I'm going to welcome them with open arms, and I think it's a wonderful thing. Do I think it was necessary? Do I think that they were needed to make Superman better in any way? No, I don't think that you had to bring back the trunks for Superman. I think that his current Reborn suit actually does a perfect job of mixing classic and new elements together. I'd be perfectly happy with the current Reborn suit being the suit for generations to come. So I don't think that it was necessary to bring back the trunks. However, I welcome them happily and do prefer them. But hey, I'm just one Superman fan in a sea of DC Comics lovers, and I'm interested to hear what you have to say about the return of Superman's iconic red trunks and yellow belt to current continuity of the DC universe. So leave it down in the comments below. Are you yay or are you nay? Do you think this is a good thing or do you think that it's a bad thing? Also, if you found this video fun, entertaining, or a reasonable waste of time at all, please leave a thumbs up on it because that's going to let me know that hopefully I'm doing something right. And if you think you may want to see more of my sort of content show up in your inbox, I don't always have my face in the videos. Sometimes it's just my hands when I do product reviews. This channel is basically all things DC. If you think you might want to see more of my sort of content show up in your inbox, hit the subscribe button. Remember to ding the bell so that you never miss a video, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a super day.